All right, folks. First off, we're going to be doing the voting machine, which was the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. It was 4 buttons, and the truth table is really long because there's 4 different things, so it's going to be 16 long. And essentially, the once you do the truth table and the logic expressions and whatnot, the midterms, and then the full logic expression looks something like this: if the president and the vice president say yes, or if the president and the secretary say yes, or the uh, president and the treasurer say yes, the vote passes. And there's one more, or if the vice president, secretary, and treasurer kind of gang up against president, because the majority wins, right? So there are other combinations. For example, what if these 3 say yes, right? What if those 3 say yes? Well, doesn't really matter if these 2 said yes. See these 2 right here? If these 2 said yes, I already included that one. So you're like, well, what if he also says yes? Well, okay, sure. And then it passes even more, but it still passes. It passed with just these 2. Okay? Or you could say it passed with this one and this one, just those 2, right? These 2 right here. I didn't even need the vice president, it didn't even matter about him. So this one term includes everything, even the ones that have extra than this, but this is the minimal required to get a vote to pass, is these 2, these 2, these 2, or these 3. Because the majority rules, except for the president breaks the tie, so this is pretty much it. This is equal to the main function, or whatever you want to call it, the main thing. So knowing this, and there's only one output, by the way, this is it. This is the one output. Knowing that, we can do some coding in Arduino. First, let's just look at how we wire it. We would wire it like this. Let's go, I'll just open this one. Let's tinker this. I've already done this one. There's already a button on it. Let's just add 4 buttons because there's 4 people, right? So let's go ahead and delete this. Delete that out of the wire. Oops, Control Z. There we go. All right, let's go get some more buttons. We're gonna need 4 buttons all together, so we'll put one here, and we'll put some space. We'll put one here, and a little bit of space again, and there we go. Now let's delete that extra wire. Here's the one LED we have. We can tie this one to pin 13 right there. Delete. So pin 13 is right here. This is our one output. It goes through a resistor. This resistor is 330 ohms. Here's our LED. This is the positive side, the anode. Here's the negative side, and it goes to the ground right here. And that does lead to the ground. You can see it goes to this black wire. The black wire leads back to ground right here. So that's perfect. This LED is done. Now let's wire up these buttons so that when we push them, they're high. When we don't, they're low. So how do we do that? First off, we're going to need some resistors. Okay, so let's just start with that. Let's get a resistor, and let's sync all the resistors. By the way, right now they're 1K. You guys see this right here, 1K. So these are 1,000 ohm resistors. Let's just go ahead. That's perfect amount. That's fine. And let's just sync all of them down, or what's called, these are called drop-down resistors. All right, now let's take the other side, this side right here, and let's connect those to the positive. There we go. Make sure you're connecting the right one, that one, to here. And this one's positive, this got positive, this has got positive. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, we're going to use pins that say 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the four people, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. I like to put the president first, so I'm going to put 5 as the president, just because, you know, I want president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer kind of in order. So let's make 5. For me, I'm going to put 5. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to put it right here, anywhere in this row right here, okay? And then for 4, we can put it anywhere in this row. And 3, put it anywhere in this row where the resistors are. The same row as the resistors. And pin 2 will be here. Now that we do that, this is how the button works. let's say I'm not pushing it right now. I'm not pushing it. We got ground trickling through this resistor to here, to this wire, and going here. So this is a 0. When I push this button, then all this positive right here gets to travel from this terminal to this terminal, and it floods in here. And remember, current travels from positive to negative. It actually goes through the negative and kind of just wastes. It just doesn't do anything. It just goes through this resistor. But a lot of it actually flows through this wire and becomes positive right here. And there we go. So some of it does get wasted to that resistor and down into the ground. But the rest goes right here into pin 5, which becomes positive when I push this. So that's how all 4 of them work. So let's look at the code. Click code, and you need to go to text, continue, and here's our code right here. I do have the code right here on Arduino. I haven't typed it yet, but I like this one just because it's a little bit bigger, because I can make the text bigger. So the first thing we're going to do is let's create 5 constant variables, and we're going to create the president, and the vice president. I'm going to make them capitals. Vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Okay. And here I'm going to do pin. We have to set up our pin. So pin mode, pin 2, comma. This is going to be input, right? Semicolon. Pin mode. Oops. 3 is an input. These are our buttons, by the way. And you can name these what they are, like, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. I remember I have 5 as my president. The other ones don't matter. They're kind of just mixed around. They all have the same power anyway, The one that really matters is that president, because it does act differently than the rest. This one right here, pin 5. Don't forget we're going to have one output for that LED. All right, so we do have that LED. Let's set that one up. Oh, it's pin 13 if you remember right. And that one's going to be an output. And how we set this up is, 1 second here. I got to start my Zoom class. All right. So how we set this up in the loop is as follows. The easiest way to do that is to do an if statement and stuff. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to read all 3 of those. So we're going to say int. We're going to set. We already created our variables right here. We created 3 variables. We didn't set them equal to anything, but we will. So we're going to say p. So president is going to equal to digital read pin 5. That's my pin 5. Then v, the vice president, is equal to digital read pin 6. No, sorry, it was a 4. We're in reverse order, remember how I did it on the wiring. S is equal to digital read pin 3. And the treasurer is equal to digital read pin 2. And once we read them all, so we're reading each pin, we're setting it in the loop. And then we're going to say if this is true, we're going to say P and V. And how do you write and? You write 2 and signs. See, in logic, you just kind of write the 2 letters next to each other. That means and. A plus sign means or. That's not the case here. This is coding. This is different. So I have to put P, 2 and signs, and V. That's how we write P and V. And then or is 2 of these lines like that. It's right below the backspace button. You have to hold shift, and then it's the bar. Those are called bars. 2 of them. Don't forget to put 2 of them, just like you have to put 2 of the and signs. Then we're going to do P and S or P and T or P, what was it? VST or the last one. So we're going to put V and S and T. And then the only thing is that if statement has to be in parentheses, these need to be in parentheses too. So we're going to put a parenthesis here, a parenthesis here, parentheses around the P and the S, and a parenthesis around the P and the T, and a parenthesis around the V, S, and T. There we go. So if this is true, if this one or this one or this one or this one is true, I want to do this code right here. So I'm going to put an open curly bracket. And so I have, if this is true, so if this stuff is true, these are the curly brackets. I'm going to put my code right here. I'm going to digital write pin 13. That's my LED. Hi, I want to turn my LED on. That means the vote passes if all those are true. So remember, these digital reads, they're reading those 4 buttons. And if they're true, that means somebody pushed the button, that means they're voting yes. So if P and V are true, then turn it on. Or if P and S are true, turn it on. Or if P and T are true. Or if V, S, and T are true. So I just wrote it all in one big statement here. Don't forget to put the semicolon here. And that's it, except for one thing. I need to put an else. What if those aren't true? Then I'm going to open a curly bracket, and then here we go. In this curly bracket, I'm just going to put this same code, copy, paste, but I'm going to put low, turn it off, so turn the light off. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and copy and paste all of this into this code right here. And let's see what happens. What did I mess up? I wonder if it's because I put P. Oh, I didn't put semicolons after all these. Maybe that's what it was. You always have to put semicolons after all this stuff. Let's see. Oh, there we go. That's all it was. It looked like it was a lot worse than that, wasn't it? Let's hide this code. This should work then. So if this is on and this on, I can't click 2 at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is cheat, and I'm gonna drag this wire. I'm gonna delete it, and then I'm gonna put this wire. So the president's saying yes all the time, directly to the positive. Now, let's start the simulation. See, the president's saying yes right now because I directly wired him to the positive. See, it goes right here, which is connected here. So if this person says yes, it turns on. If this person says yes, it turns on. If this person says yes, it turns on, because you just need one of these plus that one. The other one is all 3 of these turned on against it, but I'm not going to go ahead and demonstrate that. So you guys get the point. So that's it, folks. All right. I hope that makes some sense.